مسرح التلفزيون المصري مسرح ماسبيرو، وذلك لإعلان الجدول الزمني وكافة الاستعدادات الخاصة بمجلس النواب 2025. والبداية مع السلام الجمهوري. السيد القاضي الجليل حازم بدوي
Judge Hazib Badawi, Vice President of the Court of Cassation, Head of the National Election Authority, Honorable Councillors and Judges, members of NEA, Honorable members of the Executive Board. We would like to welcome you in these great days where we are inspired by the great October War and the great victory and history's making. Egypt has always been playing a very critical role in an Arab regional conditions and situation where Egypt is taking very wise steps out of its strong beliefs to achieve peace and stability in the Middle East. Egypt selected the choice of peace to ensure stable and safe future for the people of the Middle East, to be always successful, not only thanks to its natural and human resources that qualified Egypt to be in the leadership position, but because of the clarity of vision and the sincerity in the efforts and the stability of its internal front. Egypt has always been the history-making country, and Egypt has always been sending a message of peace to the whole world. And this meeting comes in order to launch a new pillar in the democracy of the new republic. And this is the best proof that Egypt is continuing on the road of building the new republic, despite of all the hazards and the threats and the consequences surrounding it. My colleagues in the different media organizations, I'd like to welcome you and to have been for months following up the preparations of the National Election Authority for a new round of elections where Egyptians vote for their members of the parliament. And we as people of the media would like to extend our appreciation and thanks to the National Election Authority for continuously briefing us on the preparation steps for the elections of the House of Representatives. And we look forward to know the latest and to fulfill the needs of voters, as well as to know all details related to the time frame of each phase of voting inside and outside Egypt. First, the procedures and the logistics of 2025 House of Representatives elections and will be delivered by the head of the Executive Board of the National Elections Authority. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, peace be upon you all. Honorable Judge Hazem Badawi, Vice President of the Court of Cassation and the Head of the National Election Authority, honorable judges and councillors, members of the Board of the National Election Authority, dear colleagues, members of the Executive Board of NEA, ladies and gentlemen, representatives of different media organizations, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants. Egypt is a strong country that has deeply rooted history for democracy, and Egypt has always been standing firm in crises. And these very unique characteristics is what distinguishes the Egyptian state since many centuries ago. This was made because of a strong will that every Egyptian citizen has to be number one and to be the best. We never accept lagging behind other advanced countries and nations. Because parliamentary life is one of the manifestations and signs of advancement, Egyptians have been so keen on allocating and designating areas for consultations and exchange of opinions, which has become known in modern history as legislative authority or parliament, which is the name of democracy and representation of democracy in advanced countries, and the legitimate umbrella for all decisions and policies related to the fate of countries and nations. Our beloved country is following and is moving on this track since its effort to be independent in its decision-making process, and it adheres to this principle, and this is what made Egypt the mother of the world and has become an example to follow in wise democratic procedures and steps. Egypt has overcome many very tough challenges, but it never deviated from the right path. Now, other constitutional entitlements are moving to a new step, which is the elections of the House of the Representatives 2025, to represent many years of very bright parliamentary life, where there has been more than 30 parliamentary sessions that played a very important role in improving the quality of life of the Egyptian people. And as appreciation to this very important point where voters cast their ballots, the National Election Authority is working with its full capacity throughout the past month until the moment of election in order to ensure honest election process and to make sure that all efforts are made to facilitate the participation of the elderly and people with disabilities in the voting process. The National Election Authority always seeks to make sure that the election process is a unique and facilitated experience for all voters. The National Election Authority is so keen and has been so keen in the preparations to the elections of the House of Representatives to make sure that all the needed arrangements are made inside and outside Egypt, including the ballot boxes and the preparation of all election committees to make sure that the voting process goes smoothly. Also, different forms and templates required for the candidates have been printed out. There has been also signage and posters designed in order to guide people with disabilities. And I would like to extend my deep thanks to the National Council of Persons with Disabilities for organizing workshops that produced these guiding signage to the people of disability. Also, those who are visually impaired have been taken into consideration to make sure that they can vote easily and perform their political right, because they are an integral part of our society and cannot be left behind. And this is what has been commended by the reports of international local organizations and local NGOs in following up the elections of the House of Senates. And indeed, this has proven to be very successful in the previous elections. Also, coordination took place with the Ministry of Health and Population in order to prepare laboratories and other health clinics to conduct medical investigations and to conduct tests and medical tests for hopeful candidates, and that makes a total of 26 laboratories in order to make sure that any citizen who wants to run for the elections of the House of the Representatives can get the chance to fulfill the required conditions. Also, there has been coordination with the National Post Authority and the National Bank of Egypt in order to open accounts for the media campaigns and electoral campaigns. Indeed, each and every Egyptian citizen who will take part in the election is actually investing in the future. Selecting candidates and voting for a particular candidate than the other looks like selecting beautiful colors for a drawing of a beautiful Egypt. So, honest and sincere choice will make Egypt look in our eyes, in the eyes of our younger generation, more and more beautiful. And Egypt truly deserves to be more beautiful. Honorable Judge Hazem Badawi, I'd like to invite you to deliver your speech and to launch officially the electoral process for the elections of the House of Representatives for the year 2025. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most gracious, great people of Egypt, sons of this great country, peace be upon you all. At the outset, I'd like to extend my deepest congratulations to you all on the occasion of the 52nd anniversary of the victory of the 6th of October war. This immortal national epic that has been drawn by our great armed forces in great sacrifice and in great courage to prove that power-based right would win at the end. And the victory of the 6th of October would remain to be a symbol of power and willingness. Esteemed participants, at a time where regional and international challenges escalates, comes the electoral entitlement of the House of Representatives after less than a month of announcing the results of the House of Senate's elections, so that the Egyptian state proves more and more its adherence to the democratic process, and that it will continue to be the leader of the whole region, because elections are not just selection of representatives of the people, but it is a life embodiment of the strong fabric of this people and the solidarity of all Egyptians before any threats facing the Egyptian institutions. And it's a message to the whole world that Egypt, with its present, with its past, with its people, would remain to be a great country. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a critical turning point, or a crossroad of the region's history that requires collaborating together and uniting together and working together. And here I would like to address different political parties. Please work hard for the interest of this country, and it's not a matter of how many members you have, but how effective and the impact you have. Do not select candidates who will just have a seat in the parliament. No, select people who will be the makers of the future. So you have to think about the future before loyalty to the political party. Think of candidates who have a clear vision and have the ability to execute this vision. Remember that having a seat in the parliament is a responsibility, and selecting your candidates is a responsibility. And to all candidates, be it political party members or independent, I want to tell you that Egyptian voters have become now more educated and more aware of what they need. So do not give them mere rhetorics and slogans. Don't seek to get a post, but you have a huge responsibility to shoulder. And especially in light of the exceptional circumstances that require to be fully aware of the amount of responsibility and the huge task you should carry. You have to respect the Constitution and the law and the elections code of ethics or code of conduct put by the National Election Authority. You have a huge responsibility to have the elections of the House of Representatives truly representing the great history of parliamentary life in Egypt. Great people of Egypt, according to the law and to the Constitution, and after the approval of the Board of the National Election Authority in its session organized today's morning, Saturday, the 4th of October 2025, it has been decided as follows: to invite voters to cast their ballots to select members of the House of Representatives, the third legislative round 2025-2030. Requests for candidacy would be received starting from Wednesday 8th of October until Wednesday 15th of October. And this will take place on daily basis from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. and the last day will end at 2 p.m. List of candidates and their symbols will be announced on Thursday, the 16th of October, and will be published in Al-Akhbar and Al-Jumhuriyya newspapers. The court of administrative judiciary would take decision regarding any disputes until the 21st of October. The final lists of the candidates will be announced Thursday, the 23rd of October, and the last date to withdraw from candidacy Saturday, the 25th of October. Elections of the House of Representatives will take place over 2 stages. The first will include the following governorates: Giza, Fayoum, Bani Suef, Minya, Asyut, New Valley, Sohag, Qina, Luxor and Aswan, and the Red Sea, and Alexandria, Bahira, and Marsa Matruh. The electoral campaign will start from the 23rd of October, Thursday, and electoral silence will start on the 6th of November. Elections outside Egypt will take place on Friday and Saturday, coinciding with the 7th and the 8th of November. And inside Egypt, it will take place on Monday and Tuesday, coinciding with the 10th and 11th of November 2025. The result of Phase 1 will be announced and published in the official gazette and in Al-Akhbar and Al-Jumhuriyya newspaper Tuesday, the 18th of November. And on the same day, elections campaigns for the runoff shall kick off. Any disputes on the results should take place within 48 hours of announcing the results at a maximum date of Thursday, the 20th of November. And the Administrative Prosecution Court shall take decisions starting from Friday 21st of November up till Sunday the 30th of November, which is the day where election silence for the runoff shall take place. The runoff outside Egypt will take place on Monday and Tuesday, the 1st and the 2nd of December. And inside Egypt, it shall take place on Wednesday and Thursday, the 3rd and 4th of December. The results of the runoff for the first phase shall be announced and published in the official gazette and in Al-Akhbar and Al-Jumhuriyya newspaper Thursday, the 11th of December. Phase number 2 will include the following governorates: Cairo, قليوبية، دقهلية، منوفية غربية، كفر الشيخ، شرقية، دمياط، بورت سعيد، إسماعيلية، Suez, and northern Sinai and south of Sinai. Elections campaign shall start from the 3rd of November and election silence shall start on Thursday, the 20th of November. Elections outside Egypt shall take place on Friday and Saturday, the 21st and the 22nd of November, and inside Egypt on Monday and Tuesday, the 24th and the 25th of November. Results of the second phase of the election shall be announced and published in the official gazette and in Al-Akhbar and Al-Jumhuriyya newspaper on Tuesday, the 2nd of December. And in the same day, elections campaigns shall start for the runoff stage. Any disputes against the results shall be submitted within 48 hours with a deadline of the 4th of December, and the Supreme Administrative Court shall take final decision on the appeals submitted from the 5th of December until the 14th of December. And the 14th of December will be the day to start electoral silence for the runoff. Runoff outside of Egypt will take place on Monday and Tuesday, the 15th and the 16th of December, and inside Egypt on Wednesday and Thursday, the 17th and the 18th of December. And the elections of the House of Representatives will come to an end with the announcement of the runoff of stage 4 or phase 2, and will be announced in Al-Akhbar al-Jumhuriyya on the 25th of December 2025 and the official gazette. I would like to conclude by sending a message to every Egyptian citizen. I said and I reiterate, your vote is a huge responsibility, and always remember our ancestors who made lots of sacrifices so that this country enjoys its freedom and its sovereignty. It is your duty to select the most competent and the most qualified to defend the country's resources and interests, and the ones that are capable of facing the challenges, the future challenges of the country. The National Election Authority reaffirms its full readiness to organize this constitutional entitlement and to make available all the needed facilitations to guarantee the smooth running of the election process. And we promise you honest, free elections that truly represent your will and your desires. Long live Egypt. May God protect Egypt and its people from any evil, and peace be upon you all. We would like to extend our deep thanks and appreciation to Honorable Judge Hazim Badawi, the head of the National Election Authority, and we would like also to thank Honorable Judge Ahmed Al-Bindari, head of the Executive Board of the National Election Authority. I would like to extend my deep thanks to all my colleagues in different media organizations for attending and taking part in this press conference. We invite you again to visit www.elections.eg and other social media platforms of the National Election Authority to be briefed and updated on the latest decisions made by the Board of the National Election Authority and to follow up the latest regarding the election process. In conclusion, we pray to God Almighty to protect our country and to guide us towards the right path for the benefit of the Egyptian people. Thank you very much.